Season 13 of Sea of Thieves has arrived, and with it, the return of Captain Flameheart. In his wake, he's brought back his flagship, the Burning Blade, to launch a full-scale war on our beloved seas. With such a hotly contested new world event, in this video I'll be talking about the easiest way to capture this vessel, guaranteeing your victory every time, allowing you to sail on a man of war. First things first, the world event. This world event is part of the normal world event cycle, and is marked by a red tornado in the sky. I know, Sea of Thieves has a lot of tornadoes now. Some of you may be wondering, how do I tell if a player has captured it? On the map, if it's captured by any player, you'll see a Reaper emissary and an encampment symbol next to it. If it doesn't have these, it's a fresh world event, no one's captured, it's up for grabs. But if it does have this, even if the encampment symbol says 0 and it's a Reaper grade 1, someone is aboard it, someone is controlling the Burning Blade, and you will not be able to. You can only sink a Burning Blade that's already been controlled. You can't then capture it. In terms of finding a Burning Blade, you need to really be there from the start when it pops, so you can beeline over there. My recommendation isn't to server hop, because the likelihood is people will have already captured it or been nearby. For me, the way that I was searching for them was diving to Ashen Lords. These are really quick to clear out with raid voyages, and once you do, a spot will open up in the world event rota. It may take a couple tries, but the likelihood is you'll get a Burning Blade quite quickly. Then head straight over there. Obviously, as the update settles, less and less people will do Burning Blades, so they'll gradually become less contested, but while it's still really hot, this is a great way to do it. You can server hop, you can search for free Burning Blades, but that's my recommendation. As you approach it, battle will commence, and with such a highly sought after prize, it's likely it will be contested with other crews there. Because this is such a deadly ship, my advice is to keep at a mid-range, and don't necessarily focus the Burning Blade unless there's only 1 or 2 ships there. If there are any more than that, keep your distance, or maybe if there's a galleon there and you're a sloop, just make sure you're somewhat away from it. Focus the other ships first, see what damage you can do to them, but play it very safe. Get holes in the Burning Blade when you can, but crucially, stay away from its front. The Burning Blade has a deadly attack called the Ashen Roar. This shoots out 2 great big balls of fire, devastating whatever target it hits. In fact, on a sloop, it will set fire to every single spot that can be set on fire, and it's similar with the other boats. Only if it just catches the end of you will you avoid this blazing inferno. So, you're in the world event, the Burning Blade's going down, there's many ships about. How are you going to take it over and ensure that you're the one that's victorious? The Burning Blade is unique in how it works. You will not sink it in the world event, you will just weaken it. Once you've sufficiently pummeled it, it will emit a yellow shockwave. This signifies that the Burning Blade is vulnerable. You can either now sink it and gain the Blade of Souls, or you can capture it. This video is obviously going over the best way to capture the Burning Blade, so fire out immediately. Ditch your ship. It doesn't matter if you have 10,000 holes on your boat, just fire over and make sure the majority of your crew do this. Head over to the captain's cabin and pledge yourself to Flameheart. When I did the Burning Blade, I was in a highly contested one, and the second the yellow shockwave emitted, me and my friend both fired over. We ran to the captain's cabin and we voted to claim it. Once you voted, that's it, it's yours. Your spawn point set, your ship will sink. So it doesn't matter if your ship will sink once you fired off of it. This is the optimal way, and you need to be ready. This is why I suggest keeping mid-range so you can get a clear cannon shot so you can fire over to it and beeline to the captain's cabin. This is technically easier on the smaller boats such as the sloop and the brig, but it can be done on all of them and is the best strategy. You're not vying to be the person that puts the final hole into the Burning Blade. You just need to get there. Once it's weakened, that is your opportunity to strike, and genuinely, this guarantees it almost every time. There may be crews closer, but this is when people start to panic. They might start missing sword dashes or jumping off the boat and missing the Burning Blade's ladder. You just need to aim a cannon and get over there. And as I said earlier, this is why you need to remain somewhat close to it. Don't go right up to it because you will get pummeled, but remain a good distance away. The Burning Blade is not to be underestimated, and whilst in my experience it has been relatively easy to weaken it, it has some serious firepower. Once you have the Burning Blade, this is where the real challenge will begin. The Burning Blade has the Chest of Fortune on it this season, so it's even more highly sought after than it will be in the future. The Burning Blade is equipped with 10 cannons, a bunch of supply barrels, and the Ashen Roar, the devastating fire ability. It has a great number of decks, and if you haven't done the world event before, I'd recommend learning your way around it once you're in the clear. Your goal with the Burning Blade is to go to skeleton encampments and complete the rituals in Flameheart's name. There are 6 of these around the map, and they're marked by a Flameheart symbol, which, just as an FYI, the map on the Burning Blade is behind the wheel. It's also worth noting there are 2 cannons either side of the helm, so if you're a person that usually steers the boat, you get to fire the Ashen Roar and you get to operate the 2 side cannons. Before we get onto some tips about the Burning Blade and how to defend it properly, if you're struggling with the encampments, want to know more about them, or just need some help, I'm going to have a video going up on this channel very shortly after this one all about them. For the purposes of this video, you just need to do them. This involves sailing over and descending into the depths, solving ancient puzzles. Once you complete the rituals, tribute will be added aboard the Burning Blade, and you can see in the captain's cabin and marked on the map how many encampments that you've completed. The more you do, the more you will earn when you cash out in terms of gold and reputation for the Reaper's Bones. So, how do you effectively defend the Burning Blade? There are skeletons aboard, new obsidian skeletons that will help you fire cannons and make repairs. In my experience, you rarely need to worry about the lower decks. Unless you're in a position where you're getting pummeled by many ships, your skeletons are dead and you're reaching mid-deck, you really don't have to worry. The skeletons will do it all. Every time we checked, and this was occasionally, there was virtually no water there, and we just took a single or 2 bales. The skeletons are really useful. However, the skeletons can die, and this is an issue especially for boarders, because if you have lots of skeletons on board, boarders won't be able to stand a chance. But if you don't and they die, you may struggle. Skeletons can die but will replenish when you do rituals. In terms of the Burning Blade supplies, it has many different barrels of many different types scattered across the decks. The cannonball barrels even contain bone callers. Whilst I haven't been able to get it confirmed, it's quite hard to tell, and many people have tried it but aren't sure, it doesn't look like the Burning Blade supplies restock. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, but I'm 95% sure on this. Therefore, you need to make sure you transfer the supplies that were on your old boat to the Burning Blade. When you capture the Burning Blade, your boat will sink. This isn't always possible due to the highly contested nature of the world event, but if you can, do. There are sufficient supplies to manage it, but if you've got constant ships going for you, you won't have enough. So make sure you stock up every now and again once you see you're running low. Finally, onto the Ashen Roar. My best advice with this weapon is use it when the ship is just about crossing midway, just a little bit before. This way you ensure that both fireballs will hit the boat, and this is deadly. It can completely decimate a ship. It has a somewhat long cooldown, but it's actually not too bad. You just need to make it count. My advice is to not purposely line the Burning Blade up with boats. Unless you can see the boat is going into a position where you're going to be able to fire the Ashen Roar and turning it would help, don't purposely open with it, don't go in for an attack on it on purpose. If you can get it, great, but don't prioritise it. Prioritise the broadsides. The Burning Blade has 10 cannons, it's worth making use of them. It's also worth mentioning, in case anyone isn't aware, the place you cash this out is at Reaper's Hideout. There, Flameheart will be waiting, and Rare have introduced a pretty nice cutscene for when you cash out. Once you do cash out, you can't then sail the Burning Blade. It will disappear, you will have returned it to Flameheart, and that will conclude the world event. With that just about wraps things up. The Burning Blade is a formidable ship, and I'll admit, it's easier crewed with 4 people than it is 1 or 2. However, it is still doable with low numbers. The Burning Blade only has 1 life. If it sinks, you're gone. You don't get it back, so you need to make it count. This man of war has amazing potential when used right, and it's an epic ship to sail on. This season is an amazing update for Sea of Thieves, one of the best updates they've ever done. I'll be talking more about this in a future video, but for now I want to thank you guys all for watching. If you did enjoy or this helped you out, please do consider leaving a like. It really does help out the channel an absolute ton. And subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest Sea of Thieves news as and when it comes out. And while you're at it, why not hit the bell as well so you never miss a single upload. But apart from all that, thanks for watching and I'll see you later.